I don't know what's happening right now.
We're happy to be
here
with you right now.
It's Wednesday. So
Best day of the week.
We're hanging out Wednesday night. Tsunami. So good to see everyone. What's up, guys? Everyone's.
It's sad back here. I can't see
I know.
everyone's face.
They're all waving at me, not at you.
They're waving at me.
It's on my side of the screen. See, they're all saying hi.
They can put hearts up on the other side for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm on this
They're
side.
waving at me though. I see it.
I need a heart. Can somebody show me some love?
No hearts for Courtney. Only thumbs up and waves on my side. Let's keep it real, guys. No, but yeah, we're just glad to be hanging out this week. Okay, now we're getting some.
I feel the love. Yeah. I feel it, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, big week, right?
Yeah, it's our last
normal Tsunami
Instagram Live programming night.
So yeah, we're just hanging out with you guys, which we're pretty excited about. But it makes me think about this year, right?
Yeah.
Should I just look at you through here?
Yeah, just look at me through there. I'm right there. Look at me here.
This feels more natural.
To talk to me.
All right, I'll just do it this way. Yeah, but we've had a pretty crazy year because of obvious things, right? Mm-hmm. But we also had some awesome stuff happen this year at Tsunami.
Some really awesome
Really cool things. So I think it'd be cool, and I think you'd agree that we should just kind of share our favorite stuff that happened this year.
Yes.
Right?
I'm in. Count me in. I'm all about it.
But we're gonna bring a friend in. Let's bring a friend in first.
Okay.
Help us do this.
What friend are we gonna bring in?
You guys might know him when you see him.
Hello?
Oh.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
What's up, Kenny? How are you?
That's pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm doing wonderful.
I'm doing great. I have 2 thumbs up, 2 solid thumbs up.
Wonderful is way better than great, just so you know. So I'm doing better than Courtney.
How are you, Kenny?
Doing pretty good. I'm a little bit burnt. I went to the beach the other day. I'm feeling kind of toasty.
Mm-hmm.
So
Toasty.
Yeah. We have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you have a fun, awesome, wonderful, the best memory ever of Tsunami this year?
One of my really favorite memories is I love going to Carowinds with the 7th graders. That was so much fun, and being able to convince Taylor to wait in line for the Scooby-Doo blasters and along with a bunch of other students for hours, and then him to get on and his blaster to not even work. It's priceless. It was amazing. And that's the story of how I beat Taylor at Scooby-Doo blasters. I mean, he was so peeved. He was not happy.
It doesn't surprise me that your favorite memory would be my misery at Carowinds.
Of course. What else?
Misery loves company.
There are probably people that were on that ride with us in this chat right now.
That whole trip was just so much fun, though. I remember I had to go help out with something else, and I left Paddington on in the hotel room where I was staying with the guys to come back. Every single one of my 7th grade boys were just like, I asked them a question like, shh, get it, be quiet, we're watching Paddington. Blown away.
I wonder if that's their best moment, watching Paddington.
I hope so. I mean, they were loving it.
Yep.
I loved that too because I rode the Fury for the first time on that trip this year, and it was on point. I love roller coasters, and it was wonderful. It was so much fun. I would have ridden it 1,000 times if I could have, but I didn't. I just rode it once.
Yeah. I got a lot of crazy memories from that trip this year.
Mm-hmm.
So like we went with a group of kids to Fury right away, and one of our students bought a locker and put their stuff in it and couldn't remember what locker it was. So they couldn't get their stuff till the very end of the day, until they were closing the park, to then go through and open all the lockers. And it was a pretty miserable day for that student, I'm sure.
Taylor, you were really great on that trip for holding all of our bags.
Yeah.
Because, see, Taylor likes roller coasters, but roller coasters don't like Taylor.
Yeah.
He goes on one roller coaster and only one, because he can only do one, or he gets, a little.
I would throw up everywhere, constantly, all day.
I was going to say that in a milder fashion, but that's fine.
It's not worth it. Like, I love them, but it is just not worth it. So
he held on.
I think they're worth it. I'm sure.
To have him around when you're riding roller
I'm sure there are lots of people in the chat that can relate to feeling sick from roller coasters. So
there's one roller coaster by me that's called the Intimidator 305. And I think they had a similar one at Carowinds, but the one by where I live, it hits a speed that's so fast that it makes you actually like black out on one of the turns. So, and I still rode
So
it.
I could probably do that one because then I wouldn't get sick if I'm blacked out, right?
Obviously, nothing affected me. I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so good. I can tell you're so normal. So normal.
Completely done.
Absolutely. All right. Well, it's 7 o'clock. So if you're just joining, hey, welcome to Tsunami. I just waved. Look, no one else is here. Hey. It's our last official, real, normal, somewhat live Tsunami on Instagram. So it's a weird title.
It is. It's a very good title. You should have thought about that for a little bit longer before you said it.
Yeah, I should have. But we're glad you're joining us. If you're just joining now, we're just talking about our favorite memories from Tsunami this year. And I think we're going to do something different. So let's switch.
Okay.
Courtney, ready? Go.
Bye, Kenny. You're
Oh,
out. You're out. But you're here, aren't you? You're in Wilmington, finally. Welcome to Wilmington.
I may be a little bit closer too. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, so I don't know how to get you out of there. There, you're gone. Peace. So, friends, if you have a really awesome memory of Tsunami, we want to hear it. So you can request to talk to me on live right now if you have an awesome memory that you want to share. Remember, we're on Instagram Live, and we want this to be a wholesome show for all. So think about your story before you share. Okay, I'm actually going to request someone to join me, and I'm just going to do it, and it's going to be a really big surprise for this person. So here we go. I hope you say yes.
This is kind of scary, Courtney.
I don't know if she's going to answer, but I really want to talk to her. So I don't know if you saw a notification from me that I want to chat with you, but you do. Hey, Bailey.
Hi.
How are ya?
Good.
Good. You just hanging out in your room watching Instagram Live?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I'm doing too. I'm watching you on Instagram Live. So seriously though, what has been one of your best memories? It can be this year. It doesn't have to be this year, but one of the best memories of Tsunami for you, because you're an 8th grader, and I just want to hear.
I have no idea. I have so many.
Give me one.
Does it have to be this year?
It doesn't have to be this year.
Fuse.
Yeah. Why?
Because it was really fun and I got a lot closer to God.
That's a great reason for that to be your best memory of your time at Tsunami. I love that, Bailey. I love it so much. And we loved having you at Tsunami. Also, guys, I wanted to bring Bailey on because there's something else I wanted to share. I got to do a podcast with Bailey last week or the week before. Anyways, you can watch it. It's Port City Students, isn't that right? If you go to Spotify, you can find it and you can listen to it, and it's awesome. So that was really cool to hang out with you and get to do that, Bailey. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And Fuse is probably many of our favorite memories when we think about Tsunami, I think. Anyone agree? If you agree, I need to see a heart. Throw it up. Oh, wow. It was like a rainbow display of hearts just now on my screen. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was pretty intense. So you guys are fans of Fuse too. That's a great memory. Thank you, Bailey, for sharing.
You're welcome.
We'll see you later. And up next, we have...
All right, I'm going to go. Let's try. We have one request here. Let's see who we got. Hello. Are we... Tristan?
Hi.
What's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. What grade are you in?
6.
6th grade? Awesome. So we are figuring out what your favorite part of Tsunami is. It can be anything. It could be a game, something fun, something from small group, an activity, hanging out with friends, whatever it is. Go.
I liked Impact a lot.
Impact.
I thought that was really fun.
Awesome. That's awesome. What did you like about it? Where were you?
I went to the I went to the House of Hope.
House of Hope. Awesome. What did you guys get to do there?
We folded clothes for homeless people.
That's awesome. Did you go with your small group or?
Yeah, we did.
That is so cool. that was one of my favorite parts too. And I love that because it's middle schoolers and leaders together in community, serving and helping others in the community we live in. And so that's awesome that was one of your favorite memories. It's one of our favorite things we get to do every single year. That's awesome. Who's your small group leader?
Heather McKay.
Heather, awesome. Shout out to Heather. One of your students loves Impact and hanging out with you guys and serving. Hey, it was great to catch up with you, Tristan, all right?
Okay.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. I think we're going to get another student on here.
So it looks like I was a little bit closer. That's what I was saying. I'm not just at the beach, but I'm also here. So who we got? Let's go. Who do we go live with? Let's see if we can go with the request.
Those aren't
There's no requests.
So if you see a name you recognize,
okay, if I see a name, if I recognize, I'm going through it. I'm going deep in here. We're gonna see. We got this. Okay. Let's go with. I need some help picking.
I will help you.
Okay.
Let's go with. Should we get a?
Yes.
This is a good one.
Okay. We got it. Let's see if she accepts. Let's see. So we're waiting for somebody to accept, and we're gonna see. But I also want to know just how you guys are doing. And if we're doing just great, and we're just doing amazing. So Taylor's over there. We got Courtney over there. So we're gonna continue to see if there's anybody that's gonna accept. We have the.
I don't
we
think
have the
so.
request. We don't have not right now.
We'll keep going.
We got. Okay, let's keep looking.
Kenny, why don't you tell us a dad joke?
Okay, a dad joke. Should I tell the one about the car? That's all. So I was driving today. I was visiting a student, and I saw this thing. It was a truck that said, "Oh, we have somebody that requested. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Hello. How are y'all doing?
Good.
So, what were your guys' favorite as a leader, Rachel? Because you obviously are in Ripple Effect, but you're able to lead. Oh, they're not. They are. I just heard that you guys aren't socially distancing, so we do have.
We are quarantined together.
Quarantine buddies. That's a good way to have that social distance, but also have a social life. So smart. So, as a tsunami leader, what was your favorite experience from this year?
My favorite
Your
memory from
favorite.
this year was Impact.
Impact?
With my girls at the
What was-
farm.
Oh yeah, because we went to the farm. I remember that. That was a lot of fun.
It was
What
a
was
lot
that?
of fun.
So what exactly did you do at the farm? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, I shoveled dirt at the farm, and I tilled the ground, and I flattened. And we rolled
She
down
froze. Oh, there she goes.
a fun hill.
I remember that. You guys were rolling down the hills. You guys were rolling when you were working and rolling when you weren't working. It was just a lot of excitement that was going on. So, as you were going through Impact, I know you've participated in Impact and you've also helped lead in Impact, and so it's just a lot of fun. But what were some differences that you were able to see while you were leading?
When I was leading Impact, I got to see the heart of my girls and for our community grow in front of my eyes, and it's just cool to see that transformation and that little shift. Even though they don't really realize it, you can see it in their actions.
For sure.
That is awesome, Rachel. I love it. Also, I love it because Rachel is my daughter's small group leader. She's one of my daughter's small group leaders. Just saying, she's pretty great.
Rachel is not my daughter's small group leader.
She's not your daughter's small group
I also
leader.
just don't have a daughter, so. But thank you so much for sharing with us. It was good to see you and talk to you.
It's good to see you.
So I'm gonna switch out.
Dun, 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 dun. Hi, friends. I'm here, and I'm really excited. You guys, if you want to tell me a favorite memory of Tsunami, I would really like you to request it. But if you don't have one, I'm just going to pick a friend who I want to talk to because I see a friend that I really want to talk to. I hope that she really wants to talk to me. So I'm going to go for it. Here we go. So you're just thinking, what is one of your favorite memories? I have a favorite memory with this person. That's why I chose her, because I want to hear if hers is the same as mine. So Jaden, if you were watching and you were going to join, go ahead and you just accept. And then we get to talk to each other face to face on Instagram. It's pretty great. I see that I'm waiting for you. I don't know if you know how to do this. I know, it's so tricky. It's It's okay. It might not be working. It is working! There's Jaden!
Hi, Courtney.
Hi. How are you, dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I'm really excited to see your face. I haven't seen your face in a really long time. So, it's so good. I would love to know what one of your favorite memories in Tsunami has been.
Okay, so it happened when I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
It was the video scavenger hunt we held.
Yes.
It was very fun.
That was awesome. That was really awesome. The video scavenger hunt was so much fun. And that was the one that was right before Christmas, right? And so we got to be super silly and do Christmas things out in public in front of people, which was really funny. It was good times. And it was so cool. Did you love it? I think it's great because that's how you get to know your small group really well, is when you spend time with them. Like, that's a little bit longer than a Wednesday night, I feel like.
Yeah.
So who's your small group leader? Your small group leaders?
I have Maggie Flores and Sylvia Johnson,
who are both stellar leaders. So much fun and so much energy. And so one of my favorite memories ever about Tsunami was getting to baptize you, Jaden. So it was so special that Sylvia and I got to do that. That was a memory that I will always hold on to because it was significant in so many ways. And it was just great to be a part of that in your life. So I'm thankful that one of my favorite memories is because you made a huge decision and step in your walk with God. So I love it.
Thank you so much.
I love it. We love you, dear, and so glad that we got to chat with you. We will see you hopefully sooner than later.
Bye-bye.
Okay? Bye, dear. Okay. Now, let's see here. We're going to do a little switcheroo.
Awesome. That was so much fun. There are a lot of things that happened this year. I'm just going to go ahead and share one more thing personally. My favorite thing this year was Test Tubes, the game. It is my favorite game. You guys get messy, and no matter if you get questions right or wrong, we just always pour slime on your heads. So it's pretty awesome. Real quick, I just want to give you guys a rundown what we're going to be doing tonight. In just a second, I'm going to turn it over to Brett. He's going to be giving week 2 message for, in my opinion. We're going to do one worship song after that, and then I will be back again to close the night for us. But before we do that, I have just a few announcements for you. First of all, Tsunami leaders, thank you guys so much for all that you guys do. You sacrifice your time and energy because you guys love middle school students and you love Jesus and you want to see them walk with God. And I love that so much. And we are just so thankful for everything you guys do. You guys go above and beyond. You guys are amazing small group leaders, and we couldn't do what we normally do without you guys. So we appreciate every single one of you. Number 2, next week, tonight is our last normal Tsunami. We will be back on Instagram Live next week for all of you guys, but we are having an 8th grade reverse parade to celebrate all of our 8th graders and congratulate them on graduating middle school. So the way that's going to work is 8th graders, if you're listening, between 7 and 7:30, if you can show up and be in the parking lot, we're going to have leaders here and we're going to be celebrating you guys on your accomplishment. It's going to be awesome. And then we will log in live from that event and hang out with everyone else, with all our 6th and 7th graders and leaders. Everyone else will be able to join on here, see what's happening, and be a part of that night. It's going to be really, really fun. But 8th graders, you need to hear this. You guys are invited to join us next week from 7 to 7:30 for the reverse parade, where we just get to celebrate you. Please plan to be here. And lastly is just stay tuned to Instagram this coming week as we lead up to 8th grade night. There might be some special things happening on Instagram. So just be checking our account and seeing what we're posting. It should be super, super fun. And without further ado, we have Mr. Brett Eddy here for week 2 of In My Opinion.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh, I just banged the camera stand. That was pretty awesome. All right, so I have a question for you. I need you guys to think back to a time long, long, long ago when you actually went to school with other people. And I have a question for you about that time. Maybe in your schools, do you have what you would, in your school, does it have what we would call cliques? You know what a clique is? Like a clique is like kind of a group of people that kind of hang out with each other all the time because they have something in common. They kind of are always together. There's something that keeps them connected. Like a clique would be something like, it's based on what they have in common. A group of people who seem to stick together. Things like maybe you have like a band clique in your school. Like there's a group of band kids, or the sports clique. Maybe you're a part of one of these groups, right? They're all people who kind of play sports. They're kind of like a clique together. They stick together. Maybe there's the cheerleader clique, or there's the smart kids clique, or the bad kids clique. Maybe in your school there's like the church kids, and there's a clique that are kind of like the good church kids. Maybe this is a new one for me. Is there a LARP clique? I just found out what LARPing is. Maybe there's a LARP clique. It's live action role playing, and maybe that's a clique that's at your school. Maybe you're a part of the glitter clique. I just found out what glitters are, and so there are all different groups of people that we would call cliques, and they're kind of connected. And you probably, my guess is that you feel really comfortable in the clique you're in, but you may have strong opinions about the other cliques. My guess is that you have ideas and really strong opinions about the people who are different than you. Strong opinions about those other people in other groups that you're not a part of. For example, right now we're living at a time with this whole coronavirus that it's easy to formulate opinions about people based on how they're responding to what we're going through. Like I've got some pictures here. Like if I showed you this picture, this is a picture of somebody who's wearing a mask. You see that? They're wearing a mask and nobody else around them is wearing a mask. Well, maybe as soon as you see somebody wearing a mask, you have an opinion about them. That's, well, they must be someone who's just taking this way too seriously. Like, do we really all need to wear masks? Or maybe you think, man, what's wrong with the other people in that picture? Well, they should be wearing masks. Don't they care about the people who might get sick? I've got another picture here. This is a picture that went kind of viral. I don't know if your parents maybe have seen this picture. I don't know if you have, but this is a guy who's like at a protest because they've shut down the economy, and he's angry and yelling at police officers in the governor's mansion. And maybe you have an opinion about people like that. Like maybe what's the problem with him? Why is he shouting? What's there? We're getting a signal from behind here. Hold it up. Oh, they can't see these pictures because it's in front of all the comments. I got it. Gotcha. All right. So here's the thing. Even in coronavirus, you can see a picture and create all kinds of opinions about people that you don't even know based on assumptions or opinions that you have about them. The truth is, we all have opinions about other people, right? This series is all about opinions and kind of what we do with them. And we have to admit that we all have opinions. And we all have opinions about other people. The problem is, a lot of times we build opinions about other people we don't really know. Like we don't really know them, but we already have an opinion. We definitely think we know them, but we actually don't. Okay, so I've got an illustration for you here. I've got another picture. I'm going to tell you about this person. Some of you may have heard of her. Some of you may not have. But her name is Susan Boyle. Susan Boyle is somebody who was a contestant on Britain's Got Talent. So just like America's Got Talent, it was in Britain, all right, in England, United Kingdom, and Susan Boyle was a contestant. And this is a picture of her at her audition, right? So boom, there you go. There's Susan Boyle. And right there, you guys already have an opinion of her. Like, she wanted to become like famous for singing. Here's another picture. Oh, no, that's Simon. Wait, hold on. Oh my gosh. Go back. Oh my word. Technology. Now I'm ruining things. This is live. This is not good. All right. So Susan Boyle. All right. There we go. We got Susan Boyle. There's a picture. Here's another one of her. All right. You're like, okay, this person doesn't look like a superstar. And see, Simon Cowell, that's a still of one of his from the video. Look at it. He's like, okay, what is up with this lady? Here's another one. He's like, ooh, I don't think she's going to be very good. So Susan Boyle comes out, and almost everybody in the crowd, before she had done anything, had created a snap judgment. They decided that she was not going to be good. But then, I'm going to pull up YouTube. Here is Susan Boyle singing a song from Les Miserables. See if you can hear this. If you can't tell, she is destroying this song. Look at Simon's face. He's like so happy. He's like, oh my gosh, Susan Boyle, you're amazing. Like that dude's almost crying listening to her sing. All right, so Susan Boyle went from, everybody thought this lady's going to be terrible. And all of a sudden, they're like, whoa. And she ends up winning and getting record contracts and become like this famous singer. But people had this snap judgment about what they formed their opinions of her before they even knew anything about her. And I think we can do the same thing. Like if you think back to the different people that we've mentioned, like the different cliques that are at your school, my guess is you probably have some opinions about those cliques already, right? So maybe you've thought things like, oh, all the rich kids, well, or all the people in the sports teams are just, or all the smart kids are all like this, or the cheerleaders, they're all like, or the band kids, they all do this. And my guess is that you've probably filled in the blanks with some idea in your head about what all those people are like. And it may not even happen just at school for you. It may happen here at church. Like sometimes you may be forming opinions in your mind about people who you see at church, like the kids who are always here, they must be like this. Or maybe you've even thought, well, everyone from Christian schools that comes to Tsunami, they must be like this. Or maybe you're not, maybe you're at one of those Christian schools and you thought, well, all the public school kids, and you fill in the blank with an opinion that you've created. See, these assumptions come from the tricky thing about assumptions, the tricky thing about our opinions is they come from a lot of different places. Sometimes it's your past experience that has helped you form an opinion. Maybe that group of people has treated you in a certain way, or you've observed somebody doing something that's informing the way that's causing you to have an opinion now about them because of something that's happened in the past. Or maybe your opinion comes from just an assumption. Like you don't know anything truly about that person or those people. You're just kind of assuming that's what they're like. Or maybe your assumptions or your opinions are based on jealousy or insecurity. Like they have something that you wish, or they are something that you want to be. And because you don't have that thing or you can't be like them, then you've formed an opinion about them. And if we're real honest with ourselves, most of the time if we're forming an opinion before we know somebody, or we have an assumption about somebody before we know them, it's usually not a positive opinion. More often than not, it's a negative opinion that we form. And the problem with those kind of opinions is that we often start treating the other people based on our opinions and not on who they really are. And that's a real big problem. When we start treating other people based on what we think about them as opposed to the truth. So what do we do about this? The cool thing is that Jesus actually, there's a story about Jesus that's recorded in the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John is a book in the Bible that's actually written by one of Jesus' closest followers, and his name was actually John. John kind of wrote about his experiences of living with Jesus for 3 years. And he tells a story of an interaction that Jesus had with someone that really helps us maybe understand how we can treat people a little bit better. So it goes on to say this, that Jesus was teaching a group of people. He was hanging out with a group of people who was teaching a lesson. And in the middle of this lesson that Jesus was teaching, a group of religious leaders came up to him. And here's what they said. They said, "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?" See, here's what they'd done. They had found this woman. They were smart people. They were religious leaders. They knew what the law said. And they found this woman caught in the act of adultery. And they knew that the law said that anyone caught in adultery should be put to death. And they actually, what they did to them is they stoned them. They threw enough stones at them until they eventually died. And that was kind of harsh, but it was what the law said back then. And these guys knew that, and they had already formed an opinion about who this woman was, and they already knew what Jesus was going to say. So much so that they interrupted him in order to make their point. So it goes on to say that the religious leaders kept demanding an answer of Jesus. So Jesus stood up again and said, all right, I'll give you an answer, but the one who has never sinned, throw the first stone. Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. See, Jesus, what he did there is brilliant. He challenged the religious leaders to take their attention off of the woman and to actually focus on themselves. He challenged them to look inside of themselves and see their own sin instead of judging someone else. They felt convicted, and the argument was shut down right away, and the religious leaders walked away. I mean, they couldn't do anything. They had set themselves up this idea of like, hey, if Jesus says that she should be stoned, obviously we're better than she is. And they were looking for Jesus to prove to them that they actually were better than this woman. And Jesus shut the argument down by saying, hey, why don't you look at yourselves? Why don't we all look at ourselves? And it goes on then to say, then Jesus stood up. When the religious leaders had walked away, and Jesus realized it was actually just him and the woman left. Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you? No, Lord, she said. And Jesus said, neither do I. Go and sin no more. See, the religious leaders, they could only see one thing. They only knew one thing. And they based their opinion on that woman based on the one thing they knew about her, was that she had made a mistake. She had done something wrong. And they formed an opinion about her that was totally based on that one thing. Jesus actually saw her whole story. That's the difference between the religious leaders and Jesus. Jesus actually saw the woman and saw her whole story and didn't make an opinion of her based on one thing. No one in the story was able, ultimately at the end of the story, we realized nobody in the story was who they thought the other person was. See, everyone saw the woman as bad. And Jesus showed them that she was actually worthy of love. See, everybody had made the assumption because of what she was caught doing that she was a bad person. And Jesus said, no, we can't look at her just for that one thing. We need to look at her whole story. She was created by God. She's a creature, a creation of God. She's worthy of value. And everyone judged the religious leaders as good. And what Jesus did was he caused them to look at themselves and everyone else to look at themselves and realize nobody is good. In fact, Jesus was the only one in the scene, in the story, who would have had the right to throw a stone, and he didn't. So here's what Jesus wants us to know. And I think this is what the principle that we all need to kind of understand, is that there is more to other people than just our opinions of them. There is more to every single person than just your opinion of who they are. There's always more to the story with every single person that you come in contact with. And even the people that you don't come in contact with. There's more to their story. Reducing someone or a group of people to one judgment or opinion causes you to miss out on so much. When we stick to our opinions of other people, we miss out. The more I get to know people, the more I understand who they are and the more I actually learn about them and have compassion for them. It's when I judge people and keep them at a distance that I can have my opinions about them. But when I get to know them, usually my initial opinion of that person disappears because I find out there's so much more to them than my initial opinion. So here's what I want to encourage you to do, because it's natural. It is natural for us to form opinions and to create assumptions about other people. How do we do what Jesus did? First of all, we have to worry about ourselves. When you are tempted to judge, when you are tempted to form an opinion of a judgmental opinion about somebody else, stop and kind of take a look at yourself. Don't worry about judging other people. Let's stop and take a look at what's going on inside of our hearts before we want to do that for other people. And the second thing you have to do is you have to actually remove judgment. Like, go beyond your judgment. Remove that out of what you think about the other person, and actually spend time getting to know them, or getting to know her, or getting to know that group of people. And my guess is when you remove the judgment and you get to know the other people, you'll find out that there's more to them than just your opinion of them. There's more to them. And even if you get to the point where you get past the opinion and you get to know them, and you find out that it's somebody that you don't really just get along with, the truth is God still created them, and they're still worthy of love, and they're still worthy of being loved by him. And that should change the way that we treat everyone. So my bottom line tonight is this, is that there's so much more to other people than just our opinion of them. And so the way to combat that is to worry about yourself and to work past the judgment. And you'll find when you do that, there's so much more to people than your original opinion of them. All right, let's pray. God, thank you so much for the chance to be with our friends in Tsunami. Thank you for the story of the way that you interacted with that woman, and the way that it informs the way that we should treat each other. The way that it shows us that the people you created are so much more than our opinions. God, I've been guilty of it of myself, forming opinions about people and then treating them based on the assumptions that I make of them. So God, forgive me for that. I pray that you forgive all of us for doing that, and you give us the courage to look past our opinions and to look at what's really going on, to learn this whole story behind people, and see others as those who are created by you and for you. God, I pray that that would even change the way that we see people who don't have a relationship with you, that we would see them as people that you designed, that you created, and you desperately want to have a relationship with. And maybe that would even inspire us to love them in a way that draws them closer to you. And I pray all this in your name. Amen. Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and send it over to Denise, who's going to lead us in a song.
Hey guys, what an encouraging message from Brett tonight. I'm so excited to be able to be here with you guys, for us to have a moment to just reflect on what he said. If you don't know, I'm Denise. This is my friend Anna, and that's Hunter. And we're going to be doing a little bit of worship with you guys tonight. So we're going to sing a song together. It's called Living Hope. I'm sure most of you know it. If you do, I would encourage you to actually stand up or sing the words with us, and just use this time to reflect on what Brett was talking about as we worship together. How great the chasm that lay between us, how high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. Then through the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. The work is finished, the end is written. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Who could imagine so great a mercy? What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages stepped down from glory to wear my sin and bear my shame. The cross has spoken, I am forgiven. The King of Kings calls. seal the promise. Your very body began to breathe. Out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Oh, Jesus, yours is the victory. Hallelujah. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Oh, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Thank you guys so much for worshiping with us. We're going to turn it back over to Taylor to wrap us up.
Awesome. Hey, real quick, I want to right here do a shout out. That's Hunter. He's talking to someone.
Hey. Sorry.
Hey, if you guys don't know, this is Hunter.
Hey guys.
And
I cut Courtney's hair last week.
But it's his first. This was your first full year on the student ministry team.
Yeah.
Right. And just wanted to let you guys know how we feel. We love Hunter so much, and he's done an awesome job with our worship team and leading and just getting students involved in worship and helping out. And Hunter, we love you, and we're grateful for you. And you always are like, hey man, I love you, and I won't say it. So in front of everyone at Tsunami, guys, we love Hunter. I love Hunter. Okay, I said it. I said it for you guys. So, guys, that is it. We are done with our final normal program for Tsunami. Just a reminder, next year, not next year. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Come on. Next Wednesday night, from 7 to 7:30, 8th graders, we want to invite you guys to your parade to celebrate you guys. Make sure you guys are here 7 to 7:30. Everyone else, join us here on Instagram Live. We'll be hanging out with you guys, playing games. It's going to be fun. You might win some prizes, as well as remember to check our Instagram. There's some special stuff going on. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great night.